Well, we welcome all the drivers to the first round of the New Zealand Formula 1600 Championship for 2016 and 2017. It's a significant series. There's 5 rounds, 3 of them in the South Island and 2 in the North, so it's nationwide. And the prize that stands at the end of that for the champion is very significant indeed. This year, as with last, the big prize is for the winner to go to America and race in a shootout competition for the road to Indy, $200,000 US dollar sponsored drive in the series over there. It's quite a lot to say, but it's a significant prize. Our last season's winner was Michael Scott, and Michael is currently getting ready to go over and run in exactly that same shootout. So going into a second year, we're looking forward to getting somebody of that calibre, Michael Scott's calibre, to go over and do well for New Zealand. So here we are at Levels Raceway near Timaru, looking forward to 3 races today, and at the end of that we'll know our round 1 podium winners, first, seconds and thirds. A significant opportunity for our new young entrants such as Liam Lawson, who's just 14 years of age actually, to come up from Formula First to Formula 1600, and in order to do well in the championship he's got to start well and keep going, and he is trying hard with a quality drive like I've seen from him already. I think we're looking forward to an exciting weekend. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll look forward to meeting some of the drivers, watching the racing of course unfold, and seeing what happens at the podium, on the podium at the end of the day. So welcome to everybody. This is the New Zealand Formula Ford, or as we call it now, Formula 1600 Championship underway. Thank you. Liam Lawson, congratulations. P1 on qualifying. It's a great way to start the New Zealand Championship. Tell us how they go.
Yeah, it was a good session. I think obviously the wet conditions made it very difficult, and a lot of the slower cars, obviously in different divisions like the historics and class 2s and stuff, made it hard to get some clean laps. But you know, I think I got my best lap out on the last lap, and it was a very good session.
Well done. Tell us about that last lap, the different corners. How did you go through those?
Well, I came down the front straight, and Dad had the pit board out saying P2, and I knew I had 1 lap to do it. So I think I maximised every single corner as much as I could. I pushed as hard as I could, and I guess it was all or nothing.
Okay, well done. So going forward to race 1, given the conditions, what's your plan of attack going to be? Is it lead from the front, stay from the front? I mean, it's easy to say that. What's your thinking at this stage?
I think I'm going to try and get the best start possible. Obviously, turn 1 and turn 2 are very tight and could cause for some carnage. But I think if I can get to the lead around the first corner and then try push to make a gap maybe, or but I think most of the exciting fighting and stuff for the win will be towards the end, because it's going to be, I think, a long race in these conditions.
10 laps, that's right. Well, congratulations, you're already the championship leader with 2 points.
Thank you very much.
2 points for winning the qualifying P1 position. So well done, and we'll look forward to seeing how race 1 goes soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome along everybody to the first round of the New Zealand Formula 4 Championships here from a rather wet Timaru Raceway, and it's been raining for the last 4 or 5 days, and a big thanks to the sponsors Avon Tyres and Evolution Motorsport. Looks like we are underway in rather soggy conditions. Michael Collins leads from P2, and it's the best line to be on when it's wet. You see Ethan Anderson off into the grass there, he's losing a lot of spots as the rest of the field goes through on him. But it's going to be Michael Collins leads him down the back straight for the first time, as everyone just tiptoes through Castrol there. As I say, there's been a lot of rain going on at Levels here for the last 3 or 4 days, and just look at the spray coming off Michael Collins' car as he heads down towards John Jones' corner for the first time. Liam Lawson tucked in behind, and then it's Jordan Mickles tucked in behind in the yellow car as well, just tiptoeing through there, and lots of puddles of water there for Michael Collins. as they go up through the McKissick curve for the first time. You see Lawson just closing up under brakes there. There's Collins, the man out in front. He's the one that's seeing how the conditions are. And Lawson all over the back of him as they come to the hairpin. Has a wee look up the inside, no way through for Lawson this time. He's just going to bide his time. 10-lap race for the Formula Fords. And Mickles tucked in there in third place, and Dyson Freeman there in fourth. Around the outside there, Lawson has a bit of a look, but no way through. And Collins will lead them down onto the front straight for the first time. Small gap back to Lawson, then it's Mickles. Then a bit of a gap now back to Dyson Freeman. There's Ethan Anderson on board with him. He's got a lot of work to do to catch up. He's lost a lot of spots. Back to third last, and he goes through and takes another spot. As we see the cars just touring around now behind the safety car. It must have been a bit of a moment somewhere. We'll find out who that was very shortly, but one of the cars in front there, you'll see it's Michael Collins from Christchurch, and he's going to resume the lead very shortly once the safety car comes back in. Still not too sure who's missing from the field. We will find out very shortly. To the field under safety car at the moment, and there goes car number 91. That's Trevor Stiles, who's backed it in there off the end of the back straight. Pretty lucky really only to get half of the car in the sand trap. They should pull him out nice and easy, and he's going to go down a lap or two. You'll see him there not getting out of the car, so he obviously wants to just get it towed out of the gravel trap and get underway again. Here he goes. Trevor Stiles is retired. He does a lot of racing in England 6 months of the year, then he comes back out here and races throughout New Zealand, and just loves the Formula Ford that he's got now. This is his new car, and he's underway once again, but albeit a lap down, as you can see from that view. Very, very wet indeed. Don't want to get out on the grass at all as the safety car peels in, and will be in the hands of Michael Collins as they come down through the kink and onto the front straight, and they're underway once again. And a great getaway there from Michael Collins, but Liam Lawson tucked in behind, getting a lot of spray there. Michael has a look up the inside into Parenco, and no way through. So they're going to lead these three through Castro once again. Very slippery. Ethan Anderson, he's got a lot of work to do. He's one of the old Beggs that's in the field. There's two Beggs in the field. Roger and Dave McKenzie both are running the old Begg machinery built by George Begg from down at Tiratonga, and through goes Ethan Anderson in car 70. He's got a lot of work to do to catch back up, and here's Anna Collins on board with her, and we're beside the ex-Chris Pither car there, car 22, Robert Toshak, and no way through for Anna. She's going to sit back in behind there and hopefully get a good move going up on the inside, coming up to the McKissick curve. All over the place here, Robert Toshak. Back to the front though, Michael Collins still leading through the McKissick curve. Look at Lawson now, right on the back, not much between the two. You might have a look up the inside this time. Liam Lawson on board, here we go, what can he do? And into the hairpin, bit of an oversteer moment there, but he got a good run out of the hairpin, side by side with Michael Collins, through this left-hand sweep, which is a pretty fast little corner. Around the outside, Liam Lawson goes, and what a great move. Around the outside of the left-hander, down through the kink and onto the front straight, and he'll lead through for the first time. Young 14-year-old Liam Lawson all the way from Pukekohe, and having a yarn to Grant McDonald, who's looking after Liam along with his father obviously, and a 3-year program going on for Liam. This is the start of it, the first year, and they will look to the Toyota Racing Series in a couple of years, but already got his campaign off to a great start. As we see some of the cars down the back there, car number 14, and running in the Class 3, some of the historic cars in the field. But here we go, Liam Lawson down into the John Jones Steel corner, leading for the first time. Already pulled out a few car links now. You'll see all the spray coming off the tyres. Here goes Anna Collins. She's still trying to get past Robert Toshak, and it's pretty hard to try and make a pass up the inside here at levels, especially in these conditions. Probably the worst conditions you could ever want on a racetrack here today. Lots of standing water on the track, and definitely don't want to get out in the grass or you'll just take off. But into the hairpin once again, young 14-year-old Liam Lawson will lead the way. Here's some of the cars down towards the back of the field there. Car number 56, there's Noel Atley. They have a good battle at the back. Here goes Ethan Anderson once again up the inside of Steve Heffernan in car number 8, and that's another move that's paid off there for Ethan. He's got a lot of work to do to catch up. Obviously had that off on the first corner and got swamped by most of the field. Here's Anna Collins once again, still continuing this battle with Robert Toshak. She's going to have a look up the inside. The two of them to get down the braking zone, and Anna's up the inside. She should make that stick, and that's a good passing move from Anna. Of course, sister to Michael Collins out the front. And the good battle's continuing all the way down the field. There's Royce Bayer and number 90 there, tucked in behind Robert Toshak as well, and Ethan Anderson in behind them. So Ethan's got a bit of work to get past those three as the leaders come through once again. Well, there's some of the guys down the back, and rain's still continuing to fall here at levels, and not the best conditions at all, especially in the single seater. Obviously no window wipers at all. You see a bit of a dry line starting to appear there, but a lot of water flowing across the track, and the rain is still continuing. Here's Ethan Anderson tucked in behind Robert Toshak. Ooh, bit of a moment there for Toshak out in front. Let's Anderson think about a pass up the inside, but it's pretty tight up through there, the McKissick curves. And back to the race leader, Liam Lawson. Here he comes to reel off another one. Can't be too many laps left for him. He's opened up a reasonable lead. Of course, started on pole, but had the pole position here at Levels Raceways on the dirty side of the track, and Michael Collins lead for the first 3 or 4 laps. Here goes Anderson this time, attacking Toshak. Goes through around the outside, heading down towards the kink, and makes that one stick. So that's another good passing move from Ethan. A lot of work to do, and just look at that water on the track. Of course, they use these great Avon tyres that they use also in the dry, so very versatile tyre for the Formula Fords. Royce Bayer, the next man on Ethan Anderson's hit list, and Anna Collins in front of him too, so still a couple of cars to get through for Ethan Anderson. And we go back on board with him down the back straight, trying to get a bit of a tow in behind Royce Bayer. Here's a head down to the braking zone. Bayer's trying to have a look at Anna Collins. They go down, and that's a great passing move by Bayer up in front. And you can just see the spray. Anderson just trying to stay out of it and see what's going on. And as they head up towards the McKissick curve, Anderson thinks about a look up the inside. Rain's still pouring down. Look at that at levels. It's just it's been the worst possible conditions he could possibly hope for. And there goes our race leader, goes through and opening up that gap even further. There's Robert Toshak, got Steve Heffernan tucked in behind him. So good battles all throughout the field. As I say, the couple of bigs in the field that come back from 1972, I think, these cars, so they've been around a long time. That Robert Toshak car there, number 22, the ex-Chris Pither car. Back on board with Ethan Anderson. Has Anna Collins up in front. Anna goes to the middle of the track. Ethan will try and duck down the inside, but it's quite wet down in there. Anna's got the racing line, but Ethan's going to make it stick. He's just a bit braver on the brakes. And up another spot as they head up towards the Castrol curve. Royce Bayer, the next man on his list. And down the back straight once again for Ethan Anderson. A good drive from him so far, coming back from that lap 1 off that he had. And he's getting a good tow down the back straight. He pulls out and has a wee look at Bayer as they get down towards the braking zone. You can see how much water's off that racing line, and he makes it stick easily enough down the inside there, Ethan Anderson. Away from Tiratonga. And Steve Heffernan there, number 8, just chasing Robert Toshak once again. As our race leader goes through and puts a lap on car number 11, which is one of the Dave Aerosmith, I should say, in car number 11. But there goes our race leader out in front, doing it easy. We've got some more lap traffic coming up for him. And Michael Collins holding on to that second place. Jordan Mickles trying hard though in the Hydrolink number 27. And down the back straight to go. Big gap now back to Grant Campbell there in car number 46. He's holding a good 4th at the moment. And Ethan Anderson tucked in behind him, so it's been a great drive back from Ethan Anderson. And Anna Collins there tiptoeing through the corner as they head up towards the Castrol once again. So not too big a crowd here at Levels today, obviously with the weather, and also racing going on down at Highlands Park as we see the cars coming down the front straight. Still not a dry line, still very much wet indeed, as the cars come down through the kink, which has been a troublesome spot over the years here at Levels, but they have done work as the last lap borders out for our race leader. And 14-year-old Liam Lawson has seen Liam in the pits earlier on doing some work on the car himself, his father obviously showing him what's going on and also grabbing a spanner at the same time. So it's great stuff for the 14-year-old to also learn how the car works. Back on board with Ethan Anderson. He's tucked in behind Grant Campbell now in car number 46. He's got a good run out of the left-hander. Campbell has a bit of a moment getting the power down, and around the outside he goes. That's a great move from Ethan Anderson, and he's up to the 4th spot. He was 3rd last year at one stage, so it's a great drive in the wet from Ethan Anderson. A bit of a shame that he had that off. He could have been up the front dicing with the front runners. Big thanks to Avon Tyres and Evolution Motorsport obviously sponsoring the round here. The first round of the New Zealand Formula Ford Champs. Robert Toshak in 22. And through Castrol. Everyone taking it pretty slowly through there. There's a lot of oil being deposited through Castrol on the Friday. This doesn't help at all. So that's the race win there for Ethan Anderson. Checkered flag, sorry, not for Ethan Anderson, for Liam Lawson. He comes through and takes the win. Michael Collins will take 2nd place. Jordan Mickles comes through in 3rd. And then it'll be a long way back now to Ethan Anderson. He should come through for the 4th spot. Probably the drive of the race, Ethan Anderson. Plenty of passing moves in stall. Racing not over yet though. Steve Heffernan all over the back of Anna Collins in the Littleton Engineering number 96. Out of the hairpin. Oh, and a big spin there, trying to get the power down, Steve Heffernan, and that takes the pressure off Anna Collins. Loses another couple of spots as well, but gets underway. Just trying to get the power down there out of the hairpin, and around it went. Lost all the traction. So there we go, race results. Liam Lawson takes the race win from Michael Collins, Jordan Mickles 3rd, Dyson Freeman 4th. And right down the back there, Dave Arrowsmith. Quite a few cars are 1 lap down, and great stuff from the first race for the New Zealand Formula Ford Champs 2016 here from Levels Raceway, and looking forward to race number 2, and I'm sure the drivers will be hoping for some better weather.